Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney. Who wins and why? Knuckleheads, this is an exciting fantasy matchup I need to talk to you guys about because ever since Lopez picked up that comeback win against Campa, everybody on all the boxing forums is saying this is the fight they would love to see. And my goodness, the passion that this fantasy fight is invoking among the camps and fans from both sides is absolutely crazy. It's to the point of some real-life tribalism. You've got the culture on Haney's side saying that Teofimo Lopez gets schooled if they ever fight. He cannot box against Haney. And then you've got the culture on Lopez's side saying that Haney is boring and can't knock anyone out because he's feather-fisted. Well, which one is it, knuckleheads? Let's dig in to this delicious fantasy matchup, right? So first and foremost, you know I got to look at the physical first. You got Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds now, the former undisputed lightweight champ. And you got Devin Haney still at 135, now the current undisputed champ. But here's the thing. Haney is a big boy. In fact, he's an inch taller, or at least half an inch taller when you look at the online data, than Teofimo Lopez. So even if it's an insignificant advantage, it is an advantage, I think, when you look at their styles. And moreover, I feel like Devin Haney's height might be getting underestimated a bit, and Teofimo's might be being overplayed. I feel like Haney really is the bigger guy. And nowhere is that more clear than the alleged 2.5-inch reach advantage. Again, I would imagine that might be embellished a little bit. They say Teofimo online is 68.5-inch with the wingspan, and Devin Haney is 71 inches. I felt like it would be a bigger difference, but that being said, we're still talking about 2.5 inches, a significant advantage, right? So physically, Haney with the advantages if you're a boxer for sure. Teofimo, though, I gotta say, I feel like he's more athletic. I feel like he's faster. He's got faster hands. He's more explosive. But he fights in spurts, right? He fights in spurts. Devin Haney is more consistent, right? So now we got to talk about the skills. We got to talk about the techniques. Look, knuckleheads, I hate to do this to you. I hate to do this to all the Lopez fans. I do think Teofimo Lopez is a good boxer. And I do think he's a very sharp puncher. And I do think he's a good fighter. But my goodness, did you guys watch Devin Haney against George Kambosos, the guy who absolutely beat up Teofimo Lopez in their last fight? I mean, he took George Kambosos to school. And every time I see Haney, he improves by leaps and bounds. That is not the case with Teofimo Lopez. In fact, we saw him lose to Kambosos. And even though Saturday night he came back and beat Campa, who was essentially brought out to lose, in my opinion, to Teofimo Lopez, he did not look that great. He didn't even look as good as a prime Teofimo Lopez of old. And, I'm a little bit afraid to use the word prime because Teofimo's only 25 years old and can still improve tremendously. But he didn't look his best. He didn't look the best we've seen him. Haney in his last fight looked the best we've seen him. That Haney in that last fight, knuckleheads, was an absolute problem for anybody in boxing, right? Let me explain to you guys something. Besides the fact that he absolutely schooled a guy that beat up Teofimo Lopez, right? You have to look at the trajectory of Devin Haney's career. He fought Jorge Linares, right? He was dominating that fight, got rocked at the end, which is why I felt like Kambosos could beat him when I made my prediction in that fight. But he obviously matured and learned from that fight. He was super consistent and dialed in and plugged in against George Kambosos. We also saw him in the Jojo Diaz fight. I thought Diaz was going to give him a hell of a fight, and I was right. But he came through, he showed he can fight a brawler. He showed he can fight a guy in Linares that's a veteran that can create chaos with his speed and combinations. He's seen now so many different styles from so many different tough fighters, and he's being brought up with some of the best boxers in the world, including Floyd Mayweather and the likes of those guys. So Devin Haney is an absolute technician. He's also super long. He's also tall for the division, and eventually he's going to move up to 140 pounds, where this fight can be made. And I think if this fight is made, Teofimo Lopez is in a lot of trouble. That being said, of course, Lopez has the chance to win this fight because he throws sharp combinations. He's a counter puncher, and if he lands on you, he can hurt you. He can hurt anyone if he lands on him. He's got heavy, heavy power. But that said, we'd be moving Haney up to 140 pounds, making his punch resistance more. And at 140 pounds, perhaps Teofimo Lopez's power is not as critical as it is at 135 pounds. So, I got to go without even thinking twice about it with Devin Haney in this fight. I mean, how is Teofimo Lopez going to negate that length? How's Teofimo Lopez going to deal with that sharp defense? How's Teofimo Lopez going to deal with the ever-improving movement of Devin Haney? The kid doesn't get tired. He was fighting the same way he fought in the first round and the 12th round against Kambosos, a guy who I thought would put enough pressure on him to break him. He went to Australia to fight him in his hometown. He's just 23 years old doing all this. And again, Teofimo's only 25. But I just don't see anything from a boxing fan's perspective that would tell me that Teofimo Lopez is going to be able to beat a technician like Devin Haney. I mean, I would say he's at least 25-30% the boxer or above the boxing ability of Teofimo Lopez. And again, this is no knock on Teofimo. Big power, sharp counter puncher, decent defense at times, but even Campo was touching him all over the place. How many times did Devin Haney get hit clean by George Kambosos? You hardly saw it. It was embarrassing what happened to Kambosos in Australia. It drove me crazy. A part of me said to myself, why is Kambosos fighting this fight? Get on the inside and be the buzzsaw you were against Teofimo Lopez. But something that Haney was doing, using his distance, using his movement, was not allowing Kambosos to get off. All credit to Haney. I think this is a dominant, unanimous decision win if it ever happens. Perhaps he doesn't knock people out. But this is not a knockout contest. This is boxing. And the winner is the one that boxes better. And I think the winner would clearly be Devin Haney. So now that you have my opinion, let me know what you think in the comments section below. After you put your opinion in the comments section, be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon to join us. We're supposed to go live every Monday, skipping it today. And join the channel. Help me build FightersRep Promotions, the best kickboxing promotion on the planet, the only one that matters. Also, it helps me continue to build this channel. Anything you want to buy on this channel, including merch below or tickets to FightersRep 15 on September 3rd, helps us continue to build. So I appreciate you guys. And I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say about this. Remember, if you can't make it to FightersRep 15, you can join the channel and watch the fights live there. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this. I got Haney all day.